So my informative speech is to inform people that recycling paper products isn't actually as beneficial to the environment as what you think. Recycling paper products has grown to be very important in most American households, but did you know that it is actually not as good for the environment as you think? The media gives the public lots of information about recycling, how good it is for the environment. They think they're making a difference in the paper industry by putting all their paper products in recycling bins, and that they're helping save trees. Today I'll talk to you about many reasons why not to recycle paper and how to really save trees. An increased rate of recycling reduces the amount of trees planted. My second point is it doesn't preserve landfill space. And my third point is recycling is actually very expensive. And I'll start off with how recycling reduces the amount of trees being planted. Recycling paper saves trees, right? Actually, no. The more you recycle paper, the less trees that will be planted. The argument people make that is by recycling paper, more trees won't be cut down because they are reusing paper from the trees that have already been previously cut. The surprising thing that people do not realize is that when there's an increased rate of recycling paper, it reduces the number of trees being planted, which makes there less trees in the world because of recycling. Roy Cordato gives a statistic that for every 13 trees that are saved by recycling, 87 will never get replanted. So in the long run, when people think they're saving trees, they are really helping plant less of them. Trees are an agricultural crop, just like corn or soybeans or any of the others. The only difference is that they take longer to grow because they're always replanted right after they're cut. It's because they're a renewable resource. Of course, people would still say that leftover paper products will leave pollution from making a new paper instead of reusing it. One apparent reason that people recycle is because they're told that they will help preserve scarce landfill space if they do. Although people are told this is not true, and we are not close to running out of space for our trash. Researcher Jerry Taylor states all the trash America will produce over the next 1,000 years could fit into a landfill 15 square miles in size. This shows that we are not running out of space for garbage, and that recycling is not actually needed for saving landfill space. Incinerators are also not as harmful as the environment as people think either. The risk of cancer from the smoke from incinerators is 1 in 1 million. So really, burning paper products will not harm the environment very much either, which shows that recycling is not needed to protect the environment from the waste either. Now that I've informed you about where the non-recycled paper ends up, I'll now tell you about the cost of recycling. Recycling is a very long and tedious process at the recycling plants, which require lots of workers and localities lots of money just to save a few trees. It requires extra administrators and a continual public relations campaign explaining what to do with dozens of different products. To recycle milk jugs, but not milk cartons, index cards, but not construction paper. It requires enforcement agents to inspect garbage and issue tickets. Most of all, it requires extra collection crews and trucks. Collecting a ton of recyclable items is 3 times more expensive than collecting a ton of garbage, because the crews pick up less material at each stop. For every ton of glass, plastic, metal, and paper that the truck delivers to a private recycler, the city spends $200 more than would spend to bury the material in a landfill. A statistic John Tierney gives us from the New York Times is that recycling program has been costing $50 million to $100 million annually. And that's just the money coming directly out of the municipal budget. As you can all see, recycling has its cost, and those are just the numbers for one local city. With the main points I've presented, recycling paper products isn't as beneficial as what everyone actually thinks. Today we have talked about recycling paper and how it is not as beneficial as what you would think. People think they're making a difference in the paper industry by putting all their paper products in recycling bins, and that they're helping save trees. I talked about how an increased rate of recycling reduces the amount of trees planted, how it doesn't preserve landfill space, and I also talked about how expensive recycling can actually be.